Radiant team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3. This is going to be the second game in the best of two between Moscow 5 International, aka Screen Squad plus PGG, and Virtus Pro Polar, currently VPP, up 1-0 after ratting the hell out of the first game with Naga Siren. Hopefully this game is not going to be the same because nobody likes to watch Naga Siren games, and it's really boring. But anyway, here on the HeflaTV Hitbox 1 channel, I'm Mike Loris. I have Coucher here as well. And, man, hopefully we're all still awake after that game.
Well, barely, but awake nonetheless, although I would have expected Moscow 5 to almost certainly ban out the Naga Siren now, which they didn't do. They do get their hands on the Death Prophet and the Tide though, so might be a worthy trade. I mean, Death Prophet allows you to go for pushes way better than an Aghanim Scepter Razor would, I think. So, we'll see. Fingers crossed for no Naga, because I think the last game was one of the more boring Naga games, because there was like almost no action. We got like maybe 15, I guess maybe a little bit more kills by the end, but those weren't kills, those were just supports dying to Radiance Burn mostly.
Yeah, and that at that point was not relevant to the game whatsoever. Like, Naga Siren didn't even need that extra gold. She could have donated it all to the Save the Supports charity and would have been very happy about that. But it is going to be VP this time to pick up the Puck and the Razor, and it's going to be, I hope, a different game from them. As you said, Moscow 5, they pick up the Death Prophet. It will allow them to, if need be, end the game very quickly. Along with the Tidehunter, who last game was fine, didn't really get like that much done just because he couldn't. But Death Prophet Tidehunter, that's a lot of teamfight potential right off the bat for Moscow 5. That's not to say that VP don't have any teamfight either. Puck Razor is pretty good, but I don't know, it's just not as impressive as Ravage and Exorcism.
Well, the Puck and Razor, you would think that we're not going to see at least the Naga Siren, and oh, Moscow 5 they make, damn sure we're not. Because last time around they also had a Tidehunter who got off to a pretty good start, got some excellent farm in the mid lane, and got the mech, rather fast blink there to follow as well. But it's just so sad to see when there's a game when a team has the huge team fight, or at least one of those ultimates, but they just never get to use it because there's never going to be a fight. The other team is just split pushing constantly, forcing the hand of the team. But a Tusk ban by Virtus Pro. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that Screen Squad Tusk coming out. Man, why you ban out Tusk? Why?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It is, Screen's hero. That's what he runs, but it's not going to happen. The Snowball Ravage combo, it's a thing. It's like the slowest Blink Dagger of all time, although it's a lot scarier than a Blink Dagger Tidehunter, just because he has to run away from the Snowball. But either way, that's not going to be seen, unfortunately. We also see the Scarith Mage getting the boot out. Both teams going to be fighting over the support heroes, and Vengeful Spirit can be placed with some high priority in this game, and well, Lich is going to be prioritized just as highly for each team. They're perfectly reasonable support heroes. When you're talking about the Lich, the Tidehunter Physical and Death Prophet Exorcism, having that extra armor from the ice is certainly going to be very useful, even though Vengeful Spirit might mitigate that somewhat with the Wave of Terror.
It's going to help out a little bit for sure, but a nice attempt or nice thought by Virtus Pro Polar anyway, going for the Lich like this. And that's also going to set up their lanes maybe a little bit better or stronger. Just go for a dual off lane, for example. Lich plus, for example, Puck, they could easily run. DK Phobos, we saw it last game as well, Puck off lane. And I think VP Polar, they've ran this quite often in the past as well. So supported by Lich, there shouldn't be too much endangering the Puck, really.
Yeah, and right now, Moscow 5, they have a silence down the line for dealing with the Puck. Magic Missile is not reliable at all. They would really love to have an instant disable, one that's not a projectile, in order to lock down the Puck, although that would probably involve a Rubik, if anyone. Lion, Shadow Shaman, also possibilities, but less likely. Rubik seems like a decent pick now for Moscow 5, as it'll, pretty much put all the power in the hands of the cores. Vengeful Spirit can make some things happen early on, but mostly she can be setting up for everyone else. They can go for a higher damage hero, although really I don't think they need to. Tidehunter, Death Prophet, they're perfectly self-sufficient in lane. Very similar to VP supports, and ooh, it's going to be a Sven. So maybe a support Sven. I think it actually will be. It's another projectile stun. If you land one, you're certainly going to land the other, but landing the first one is definitely the hard part.
Oh, it certainly is, but well, I really like Moscow 5 going for a Sven, or oh, never mind. I thought Virtus Pro Polar might want to go for one, try to deal with Death Prophet, but I guess it's still good. And is this a Sven core? I would think so, because I think there are better supports if Sven is going to be a support. Or what do you think?
mean, I do like Sven core more than I like Sven support, but I'm
Reserve
pretty
one.
sure, I'm not completely sure that I have seen screen run Sven before. So, like just off of that, I think Sven should be played as a support, although I would more rather like to see him core. Up against Lich Ice Armor as a core, like that much pure physical and your kite ability, I guess, as Sven is going to be really hard. So, yeah, if they were going to go for a core hero, it probably should not be Sven against a Puck, a Razor with a lot of movement speed and damage drain and ice armor. That's just way too many tools for a VP to mess with this Sven.
I mean, Sven is just such a delicate pick all in all. I think most Sven games I've seen, he has been played as a core. There haven't been too many, but the games I've seen, he has completely wrecked. If you get off to a good early start, you're going to do just fine. And well, if they want to run him as a core, they can go for a fifth 5 pick IO if they want to. Without the IO, Sven is a little bit like the Tiny, I think, just not as strong.
Yeah, he is definitely a little bit. It seems like he's more explosive. Like when he really gets going, then he'll be able to two-shot people. Whereas Tiny, he takes a little bit more of a linear path. It's a minor difference, if any, at all. Really, the Aghanim Scepter is the difference there. But the VP, they go for the Elder Titan. Seems like Virtus Pro, they're going to, for the most part, take a page out of Moscow 5's book in the last game and play what looks like a rather slow game. Elder Titan has been getting a lot of love lately in the support role, and it's been not completely failing, but I don't really think it's been huge either. So I'm still not sold on the Elder Titan support, but it seems like these teams really want to try it out. Do you think there's any chance we see the Elder Titan taking a core role in this game with Puck, Elder Titan, Razor as the 3 cores for VP?
There is a chance for it for sure, especially if they want to run the Elder Titan offlane. Elder Titan Lich offlane would be nice as well, having the Puck or Razor in the mid lane against Death Prophet. It could work out, and Elder Titan, to be honest, I think it's fine in both support and core roles. Although, I think before Secret started running it as a support, it was mostly the offlaner and not the support. So, I don't know, I think it's fine. And Natural Order, you don't feel the impact of it for most of the games, but man, I got to see it yesterday. I think it was He versus Hellraisers in the Yardred Festival. Hellraisers, they were so screwed, but they had an Elder Titan, and suddenly they killed the enemy cores and it was done pretty much. So, I don't know, man. It just works magic sometimes.
I suppose anything is possible when you're doing that much additional damage, but I mean, everyone else on VP, Puck, Razor especially, they don't have that much straight up damage. I mean, Razor can do quite a bit. Puck, kind of on the lower end of the magic damage spectrum, as she will struggle a little bit sometimes. Necrophos, though, is going to be the pick for Moscow 5. So this hero is, I mean, he's had a much larger rise to power than Elder Titan, and I think this one, or it's definitely a lot easier to see his impact than Elder Titan, so I guess they have that going for them. But man, Necrophos, that Scythe, man, that Scythe is absolutely killer. If you get a kill early on with that, the enemy team down without a hero for like 50 seconds, it's insane.
Oh, it most certainly is. I mean, Necrophos, he has to get off to a decent start though. Although with the Tidehunter and Death Prophet being the other cores for their team, it should be perfectly fine for them, I think. And VP Polar, this time around, at least now with the 4 picks, they are at a disadvantage when it actually comes to the late game. So we'll see what they go for as the 5th pick now. Whether they want to run the Elder Titan as a support or as an offlaner. I mean, what core could they go for? What way Morphling? So going pretty late themselves as well. Although Morphling, his morph isn't gonna do too much against the Necrophos because the percentages and missing health will still be the same more or less.
Yeah, and he's going to be stun locked and silenced quite a bit. So Morphling, he's always a solid carry hero to pick up. Like if you aren't going strongly in any direction, then like what we see right now for VP, they're not fully committing into aggression or late game or anything like that. They have a very middle of the road type lineup. Morphling fits right into that. But up against Necrophos, I am concerned for this Morphling's well-being. Again, if he gets Scythed, then he's just completely screwed, as a lot of burst damage will follow, kind of before and after the Scythe if he doesn't go down in that time. I think Moscow 5 this game have just an overall stronger lineup. Maybe it's because I don't respect the support Elder Titan, and I'm going to have to see an amazing Elder Titan support to change my mind about that. But yeah, I think I have to give my edge slightly to M5 in this draft.
I would do the same at the moment, to be honest. It's not the hardest lineup to execute as well. So I think it should be fine. Unless Virtus Pro Polar, they just completely get to a crazy early start, just start wrecking through every single lane. But looks like they are going for dual lanes at the moment. We have TK Phobos playing the puck, supported by Lich, so played by Rain of X-Gods. So it's going to do all off-lane, Illidan in the mid lane on the Morphling, with Lil on the Elder Titan, and Mag on the Razor on the safe lane. I mean, this Elder Titan, how much can he actually do against the Tidehunter?
It's going to be not that much. I mean, the Spirit into just punching things is great, especially when you have boots, but Tidehunter with Anchor Smash is going to buff most of that damage out, and he's tanky enough to, if he needs be, stand and fight. Plus, he has a ton of regen. But for right now, we see sneaky moves from Screen on the Sven, as well as PGG on the Vengeful Spirit. They're setting up for an early first blood over in mid. Big Num's going to be playing the Tide. Necroman's on the mid lane DP, and that leaves ZXC for right now on the bottom lane solo. I don't know if that's going to change in the future. Screen does have boots level 1. PGG does not. So they only need to land one stun to land the secondary, and it is going to be a dual lane for VP. Getting a kill on the Morphling is going to be extremely difficult, though he is pretty heavily morphed into agility. Actually, no, it is pretty possible. They can get this kill. As long as they land one stun. Illidan is in so much danger right now. He has Lich to help him out, I suppose, but if one Stormhammer lands and Illidan's dead, they're playing it safe, though. Oh, don't go up there, guys. Do not go up there.
So the body blocking was pretty nice from Illidan, so thanks to that, he doesn't have to go all that far to get the last hits, plus of course Lich denying that one creep as well. Will push out the lane in the favor of Virtus Pro, or, well, to their tower, but it's still favoring them that the lane is pushing out there. And Lich keeps on denying through. And this dual mid lane isn't such a bad idea at all, to be honest. Lich, of course, can't do too much to a Death Prophet apart from just Frost Blasting, because if she wants to go into a right-click war, she's just gonna lose. But PGG and Screen now going for the top lane, and I think it was spotted out by this Observer Ward in the river, so it shouldn't come as a surprise for VP.
Yeah, no one should be dying up on top, and you know, even though Sven Vengeful Spirit, you do want to be roaming around very heavily with these heroes. If you can't, then you can't. They're gonna go for Razor now. Actually, PGG, you know, put the Magic Missile. They have a Stormhammer opportunity onto 2. It only land onto Mag. The damage should be enough to follow through. This is gonna be first blood. PGG is going to draw it. At the same time, Necroman in the mid lane dropping very low, but it's just going to be a kill for Moscow 5 over VP, and I'm pretty sure that was spotted. So Razor maybe expecting the Moscow 5 supports to not be there, but that's kind of an expensive assumption. It costed him his life.
He tactically wanted Screen to use his mana, and I don't know. Bignam though, gonna get Echo Stomped up. Did it attempt a TP, or did my eyes just deceive me?
No, I saw a TP there too. I don't even know why he had a TP in the first place, quite honestly. I mean, it's good at escaping the Elder Titan and Razor, I suppose, but not when you panic and waste it.
Well, some mana wasted, some gold wasted as well, but not that big of a deal, I guess. He does survive in the end, so that's the most important thing. But if you look at the last hit so far, all the 3 cores of VP doing better than that of Moscow 5. Mid lane is to be expected. Death Prophet is up against the dual lane after all. Reign of X-God even went for 2 points into Frost Blast straight off for the maximum harass. And Necroman, he still does not have his bottle, having gone for the Null Talisman first. So we'll be struggling a little bit. Illidan has his own flying out now, but there's the Stormhammer with the Haste Rune, no follow-up, and Screen actually might lose his own life. Haste Rune expires, and, well, suddenly, bam, turn around, kill the... Why can't they get Necroman as well? There's the waveform, one more right-click, and, well, VP Polar, I guess they can easily win the game if they start like this.
Yeah, you said it before. It's like, oh, if they have a fantastic start, then even though they may not have a better draft in our eyes, that it's going to be fine for them regardless, and this is pretty much the ideal start for VP Polar. I mean, losing First Blood, certainly not the best, but getting 2 in response is certainly nice, and now they're going to go set up for Big Dumb. A lot of damage being drained out. He's going to try to eat his way through the trees, get an Anchor Smash off, but he's still getting a lot of damage put into him because of Mag's stolen damage. It's not going to have to kill off the Tidehunter, but it's sure as hell going to be enough to make him rethink going that far away from his tower. And even the bottom lane, like the lane that you didn't mention, ZXC, as the Necrophos versus this Puck, he's getting very heavily denied. Like 12 denies at this point is very rarely seen, and when you're talking about a Necrophos, he needs every single CS that he can get just to fuel Sadist. And if he's not getting that, then that means less mana that he's spending. That means it's a more comfortable time for Phobos.
I mean, TK Phobos has played this lane just perfectly. There hasn't been any assistance for either side here. So Puck just getting the early denies, and, well, he can just phase shift the Death Pulses as well. Necrophos didn't even go for the Heartstopper Aura early on, which is rather common, to be honest, but he's completely skipping it at the moment. With that, at least he would have some form of harass onto the Puck, but without it, he is just kind of getting owned. I mean, he still has 10 last hits, so it's not like it's horrible, but Puck is almost an entire level ahead.
Yeah, and he's going for what looks like power treads as well with the Robe of the Magi build. I think if you're this far behind in lane, then going for phase boots is a great way to kind of recover from that. Just having the base damage difference, you will be able to last hit a lot more comfortably, which again, of course, fuels Sadist, and you can get more denies of the puck, stuff like that. But power treads, though it is very good at Necrophos, I don't think this is the boot that he really wants to have in this particular lane. He needs that extra damage.
I guess he's just eyeing the later stages of the game or mid game, getting some extra tank going, swapping them to int as well if need be, because your mana pool is pretty damn low, to be honest. So I don't know, man. I think power treads are fine, although phase boots, at least for the laning, definitely would have gave him a slight edge.
Yeah, and we're going to see VP just continue to run these early game lanes. Morphling having a very easy time versus a Death Prophet. Really a lot easier than I really would have thought. He's actually a level ahead of the Death Prophet, which is, even with the kill, a little bit surprising. Lich Denies certainly helping out a good deal in that, so they're keeping a little bit tighter control over the lane. Death Prophet not getting as many creeps worth of experience. Screen on top is going to get latched up. The Stomp is going to be thrown. It will land just on the edge, and now Screen's going to take so much damage. He will die to one more punch. Yes, Lil gets the kill. And also in the mid lane, same exact time, Illidan is going to dive the tower and get the kill on the Death Prophet. Will also get a safe survival out with an Invis rune. 2 more kills for Virtus Pro Polar, and they just have this early game on absolute lockdown. And really, with M5's lineup, you would not expect this to be the case. PGG is going to throw a magic missile. Actually, he's going to get, he will throw it and will get dodged by Phobos. Coil's going to drop, and PGG's actually going to snap it. No way for them to capitalize, but still, Puck surviving the aggression attempts from Moscow 5, and it wasn't the most aggressive of attempts, but still, nothing is really happening for Moscow 5 to let them know that this early stage is going to go their way.
Yeah, and top lane as well, when the Sven went for a stun onto the Razor. Razor has that one early point into unstable current, so he got purged, got slowed down, but oh, never mind, Stormhammer dodged, of course, from DK Phobos. Frostblast into screen, he uses the Warcry to escape. But it's so hard to just go for the puck. And both of the stuns on the supports can be dodged rather easily from the puck if he just uses the phase shift. Both the Stormhammer and the Magic Missile, they both have to go. It's not like it's telekinesis, which is instant or something. So Moscow 5 did not have the best tools to just deal with a puck overall.
Yeah, the puck is going to have a free time, as you said, because they have these projectile stuns instead of instant stuns. Again, a Rubik would have been fantastic for their lineup as far as dealing with the puck is concerned, but would have weaknesses elsewhere. ZXC on the bottom lane is seeing quite a bit of harassment. Orb is going to be thrown. He will not dodge that one. Chain Frost being committed as well. ZXC, he's level 6, but he did not expect a level 6 from the dual lane mid Lich. And I don't think that Chain Frost was entirely necessary, but hey, it was enough to get the kill, and it's a kill on someone who's been untouched so far. Lil, he's being chased down by a Tidehunter, will survive that onslaught, but it's now 5-1 in favor of VP, and what can Moscow 5 do to change this? They now have a Ravage online. They're still working with the Death Prophet, so Exorcism down the line can change things, but for right now, their supports can't get anything done because they have these very awkward projectile stuns, and it means bottom lane is completely off limits, and it's been very difficult for them to start anything else elsewhere, so these supports, they're trying, and they're the correct supports to have if you're going to be going for kills, double stuns, but they just can't get it done.
It's so hard as well just because they're going to have to either bring a crap ton of clarities or have the Sven pretty much rotate back to base after 1, maximum 2 stuns. And that's just not the position you want to be at as well. Bottom lane, they got another kill, Dream Coil used, but top lane, they're going to go for Mag. There's the Stormhammer to start with. Minus armor already out. Magic Missile to fall on Mag. He's going to lose his life, but they might get a few counters. Waveform gets one. He's going to get PGG as well. One more likely kill then. You do not want to feed 2 kills into him like that. Oh, Adaptive Strike stops picking him as well. Well, make it a triple kill.
Oh man, that's a devastating loss for Moscow 5. Even losing the Necrophos on the bottom lane, just getting jumped, just like a regular gank from VP, and then Illidan coming in, cleaning house. It was an aggressive move for sure from Moscow 5 to dive a tier 1 tower like that. Like, you have to be extremely confident in your ability to kill the hero and get out, else you get punished, as we just saw. And Razor is not a hero that you could very easily just kill and then leave. I mean, he has the what's it called? The unstable current. He has power treads now in the strength, or they were in strength. And he was fairly durable there. Like, he wasted a lot of time for allowing for Illidan to slowly TP himself in. And 5-0 now the score for Illidan. He's going to get Stormhammered, but does he really care about this? Magic Missile also going to land. He's still just fine. He has a double damage. He's going to turn things around on PGG. 1-2 shots going to kill off the Venge. Now going to go for screen. And yeah, that is like pretty much to be expected. Like, he does not care about your Magic Missile and Stormhammer. These are very low level supports for Moscow 5, and Illidan's level 9. You don't mess with the level 9 hero as a support.
Well, I mean, I thought the Morphlings, oh, Elder Titan, almost died in the jungle at the moment. Magic Stick saves him. And that's a Hand of Midas now, 9-minute one for Morphling after a Bottle Ring of Aquila and Power Treads. That's a crazy timing. He's up to 5.5k net worth. He's surpassing everybody in the game by 2,500. We're only 9 minutes in. I don't think I've ever seen this farmed of a Morphling.
Well, I mean, getting a triple kill for free kind of does that for you, and you might as well go for a Hand of Midas because, hey, you find yourself with so much gold, you might as well get even more gold. As VP Polar, they're not under any pressure, so unless Moscow 5 flip a switch and suddenly things change in a drastic way, which isn't really going to happen without Death Prophet reaching that exorcism mark, then they are not going to be able to punish this Morphling. They do still have a Tidehunter Ravage that they have had for quite a long time, but are we really going to see it 2 games in a row where the Tidehunter is just struggling to find Ravage opportunities? It seems like that may be the case, even though I don't think it really should be the case in this particular one. They're going to start a fight down towards bottom. Coil's going to land onto 2. Now Chain Frost going to bounce through as well. Will bounce back down to PGG after killing off the Sven, and PGG is going to hit with another Chain Frost. Almost for sure he will. That's going to be a double for the Chain Frost. ZXC now on the run, has a Scythe, but that's going to do little to nothing for him. That's going to be 3 kills for Virtus Pro. In the meantime, nothing is happening for them elsewhere. Like, they're getting minor amounts of farm. Nothing but wins here for Virtus Pro.
This Chain Frost, of course, the Dream Coil was used nicely as well, but they almost managed to disjoint this with the Sven running far enough, but that one creep, the one creep was enough to bring him back. Then bounced to the Vengeful Spirit, and he ran back to a new creep wave coming in. And in the end, it even touched the Necrophos once. Just perfect Chain Frost really coming out. Although they're going on the top lane with all 5 of their heroes. They have the Exorcism still level 1. He's only level 7 on the Death Prophet 10-11 minutes in. Necrophos, he's only level 6 for a solo laner. It's just unacceptable. I mean, the supports, level 4 on screen. PG, also level 4. Whereas, well, Lich, he's level 8. And Elder Titan, well, he's 6, but they're just getting... It's a 10k XP lead. That's all it takes, man. 10k XP lead.
Yeah, I still like this play for Moscow 5, even though they may be so far behind. They have not used a Ravage yet. They have Exorcism, and they can very easily take this tower because, well, first of all, they should be able to take it anyway. But VP also just used all their big ultimates down in the bottom lane, so it's a nice little opening for Moscow 5 to at least get something in this game, and it's desperately needed. Unfortunately for them, it is not going to be dropping fast enough for them to get anything else, unless they just really want to go for it. In the meantime, the rest of Virtus Pro, they're going to look to make a trade down on bottom and over towards the mid lane. It's going to be 1 tier 1 for potentially 2 in exchange, and even though Moscow 5 have an opening to, on paper, do something, if it costs them this many towers, then it's most certainly not going to be worth it. They are going to smoke up and head down towards the mid lane. They have Stormhammer, they have Ravage, they have a Scythe. These are all the tools that you really need if you're going to get a couple kills, but Morphling has already taken the tower. Now he's off. He has a replicate as well with the Razor down south, so even if he does have a Stormhammer being thrown towards him, he will be able to replicate away from it, and there we go. No waveform instead. I mean, he doesn't have enough mana to do it, but now he's fine. He's going to survive, yeah. It's going to be 2 towers for 1, and even when Moscow 5 have an opening to do something, they end up taking the lower half of the trade.
Yeah, now Illy then picks himself up the Ultimate Orb as well. Most likely still will be a Lincoln Sphere. I guess Necrophos is a pretty good item. And Blink Dagger finished on TK Phobos 12 minutes in after the Power Treads. Magic Wand also in between and the bottle. So they have, all of them have crazy farm. Mac finishes up the drums as well on the Razor. Oh god, this game is going to be pretty hard for Moscow 5, although they haven't lost a single tier 2 yet. Only 2 tier 1s as well, so definitely not the end by any means. They have still pretty damn strong 5-man. So that might be their strongest asset. I mean, do you think they should be just 5-manning down towers every time they have Exorcism?
It's not as much every time they have Exorcism, but just every time they have Ravage, and they so far haven't used it. So if they keep forcing fights with threat of Ravage, then they probably will get, at the very least, the Ravage spent, and then if the fight goes well, then fantastic, they can get something else. If the fight doesn't go well, then they're probably just going to be screwed in this game no matter what. So you might as well just go for it, because VP, they don't have, as you said, comparable team fights. ZXC, though, going to get Coiled, Chain Frosted as well. It's going to kill him on impact. Necrophos down. And VP are going to escape very easily off of that. Bignum now getting punched down by Lil. Will get a Magic Missile for his troubles. Crypt Swarm as well, but he will survive. Frost Blast onto 3 is going to push them all back. PGG dropping pretty low, and well, that's just going to be attempted retaliation from M5. That's not going to happen, although DK Phobos is going to jump forward for Necroman. He will jaunt away from that Magic Missile and be just fine. DK Phobos' puck has been playing just out of control. Even in the last game, like, he's just messing with the enemies. He's not seriously engaging. He's just poking and prodding. Very much so like Puck, you know. It seems like that's what something a Fairy Dragon would do.
And looks like he's going to go for a Midas once again this time around. Has the Glass of Haste already in his inventory as well. I mean, I doubt it's going to be a Maelstrom or Armlet or anything along those lines, so it worked out fine for him last game, and they're ahead 14-2, which is definitely a crazy kill score this early on. Morphling, he got the tier 1 tower top lane in the meantime, going for the tier 2 already as well. He almost has the Perseverance, so he's probably still going to have like a 16-17 minute Lincoln Sphere most likely. And with the items that he already has, having gone for a Midas as well, that's just excellent farm. And not only that, Moscow 5, they're not anywhere close. I mean, the Death Prophet, he is tied with the Lich in net worth.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be, really, on any heroes from Moscow 5, especially that Necrophos. He has Power Treads, Bracers. This is like a desperation, cost-effective build that you never want to be going for when you have, quote-unquote, a safe lane to farm. Lil's going to walk right into the middle of everything, though he doesn't have any HP. I have no idea what the hell the plan was there. He literally just walked in with like 200 HP, right? Like, I'm not blind. That's what happened.
That is what happened, and he tried to Echo Stomp as well, but he just died before the cast actually even ended for this. Lich though, he doesn't have the Chain Frost, but a beautiful Silence catches for with the Dream Coil as well. Bignum gonna go for the Ravage, but only on one hero. Or is it? Yeah, they get the one kill, but Illidan, he cleans up, triple kill for him. He's godlike, and Bignum, does he have a blink there? No, of course not. No mech either. He's gonna get chased down in the end. Anchor Smash helps out a little bit. Is there gonna be a waveform? Yes, there is. One more right click. Illidan doesn't get an Ultra kill, but it's a team wipe for a Lich.
This game looks, as much as I hate to say it, very, very bleak for Moscow 5, almost to the point where it's hopeless. I mean, the Lich has now more than your Tidehunter, and the Death Prophet barely holding a net worth over that hero, but even though the Death Prophet technically has a net worth advantage over the Lich has a mechanism, and that's more useful than anything that the Death Prophet has right now. Like, what is she going for? Null Talisman into Eul Scepter? It's nice, but she doesn't even have upgraded boots right now. Oh, there's Eul Scepter, so never mind. She has a Eul Scepter, but still, would you rather have a Eul Scepter on a Death Prophet or a mech on a Lich 16 minutes in? Unless the Death Prophet has a lot of support, she's not going to be able to do that much with the Euls, whereas the Lich is almost guaranteed value out of his item.
I choose Lich, man, any day, any time. Plus, he's level 11, level 2 Chain Frost, whereas what? Death Prophet level 8. It's just mind-boggling how well this dual lane mid worked out, how much they crashed the Death Prophet, and not only that, the Lich, he went for some pretty key rotations early on into the bottom lane as well, just to shut down the Necrophos and help out Puck get the faster Blink Dagger. And that's a 16-minute Midas now as well. Elder Titan once again so damn low from just farming up the jungle. I hope he's not gonna go run in again.
Yeah, I mean, he literally walked in with 200 HP and just died, but even if he doesn't, he has Soul Ring, he has Tranquil Boots, so he will be able to very quickly regenerate. In the meantime, Illidan and Lich, they're going to go for a Roshan. It's not going to be the fastest, but I mean, Illidan has actually went for a Manta style instead of that Lincoln Sphere. Lincoln Sphere would have actually been really good this game against so many stuns and a Scythe and stuff like that, but honestly, it doesn't really matter since he's getting so much gold. He can get both if he wants to and still be fine. I mean, what pressure is Moscow 5 applying to him? Though they do have a Death Prophet, and that would be like a lot of pressure for your towers. They've taken one tier 1 tower so far, and that's none too impressive. And well, they're gonna try to smoke and go for Mag down bottom. This is a tough kill to take, but I think they will be able to get it if they find him. In the meantime, they are now facing down Aegis, and Mag even has Eye of the Storm prep. They're gonna move up to the north where Illidan, well, he's going in the wrong direction. He's gonna see the Heartstopper aura. Now he's gonna take a gush. Wave is gonna fly, but that's about it. They can't catch up to this Morphling, and they end up using their smoke for absolutely nothing. Aegis now on the Morphling, as if he wasn't dangerous enough already. Now you have to kill him twice. Could they even kill him once? I don't think they can, and maybe if they use a Scythe, which I don't think we've seen so far, but I mean, this Morphling is just, I don't even know what to say. He's just out of control.
Unless there's been a subtle change which I missed, that like Necrophos ultimate kills you even when you have Aegis, they're gonna be screwed. So I'm pretty sure that hasn't happened though. So I'm not too sure. Illidan even has an Invis rune now. They don't even have a tier 2 to push here because it's already been destroyed.
And Morphling with an Invis rune just hunting for kills. I think a shotgun would have been a lot more entertaining this game, since at this point no one from Moscow 5 would have been safe from that just because Illidan is so far ahead. But it's, I'm sure, coming a little ways away. I mean, if you're in this position, you're going to be going for a shotgun. You have to. Mag is in the mid lane, going to be jumped. Magic Missile to start things off. Stormhammer to follow. Gush as well. Taking quite a bit of damage, but he does have his mech and sticks from the high ground. Will he actually make this one out? He's going to Chain Frost, forcing out the Ravage, going to kill off the Razor, but Chain Frost still bouncing. Serena in the corner is going to be just fine. Looks like they will peel away, but in the meantime, Morphling is going to come in from the side. Oh, actually, in the top lane, kill off the Necrophos. PGG is going to be blinked upon by DK Phobos, going to clean up the Vengeful Spirit in the north end. That's a 2-for-1 still in favor of VP Polar. I don't think Moscow 5 has taken a single beneficial trade this entire game.
I don't think so either. I mean, okay, the first blood onto the Razor. That's pretty much it at the moment.
That did happen, didn't it? We can see how much it mattered.
Oh my god, this game 5-21. We haven't looked at the graphs at all, I think, or I glimpsed at the XP a little bit earlier, but it's a 20k gold net worth lead. 20 minutes in, so it's 1k per minute. XP also at 20k. You don't see that all that often, especially ever since 6.82 came.
Yeah, and that would be a huge lead even if this was like 40 minutes into the game, but we're not quite there yet. So VP, assuming they don't completely just like have brain aneurysms and all collapse and die, or start making terrible plays, if they just stay this course, they'll be fine. I mean, they have a Yule Scepter completed, or very close to completed on the Puck. The Morphling, he's at 1400, does have the Lincoln Sphere in the works, so he is going to go for all the ultimate orb items, because why not? And Razor almost has an Aghanim, so breaking the base would have been the hardest part for Virtus Pro, but really not that hard. It will be a little bit easier now. He's been just quietly farming in the background where the rest of the team has been doing the work. They're going to use Scepter onto the Lich, drop him into a Magic Missile. Do they have enough to kill off this Lich? It doesn't seem like they do. And, well, when you can't kill off a Lich with the Yule Scepter setup, who can you kill off?
I think a lot of had to do with the Earth Splitter as well. They just didn't want to keep on running straight. And there's the Dream Colon to ZXC. Do they have a follow-up? Illusionor will miss. Illidan comes in as well. Matos still activated. PGG will. He swaps him out, but he dies himself. Illidan still has the Aegis, so he should be perfectly fine, although Exorcism is there. It's level 2 as well, so that's a reasonable amount of damage. And there's the Reaper Scythe into the Aegis. Woohoo! Spell wasted, more or less. And Necroman now, he's going to get bursted. No, the Evil Scepter keeps him alive. Value item until Adaptive Strike happened with the waveform. So it's a 3-for-1 in the end, or, well, excuse me, 3 for Aegis.
And that's probably not worth it. I mean, the Necrophos, the value you get, I suppose, is Reaper Scythe on the Aegis refills 10 charges of Sadist, right? So you get a huge amount of regen, but he wasn't taking any damage. He wasn't doing that much damage either, so just like that VP, they gladly give up an Aegis for 3 kills. I would be very happy with that trade most of the time. And now they're going to try to crack high ground. Mag has Eye of the Storm active, Fortification will eat most of that Eye of the Storm, but M5, they still have a Ravage, so they can on paper defend this, but Illidan, I mean, he's more than okay to just dive in. If he's going to die in this fight, or in this upcoming fight, then he's at the very least going to take one person down with him. So no matter what, Illidan is guaranteed something just because he's so strong. He's going to maybe get Storm Hammered. There is one. Is there another stun? PGG looking for it. Can't find that one. Illidan actually going to think about turning around, but they took down the range for Axis in the tier 3 tower. A nice little win. Now Illidan wants in on PGG. Waveform forward. Adaptive Strike. Then the Replicate back to base. Just testing the waters for himself. Now is the Lincoln Sphere, and oh no, not the Necrophos, not again. Yule Scepter set up into a stomp. Where are you going, ZXC? You cannot go anywhere. He's dead. He's just dead. 5-25 now. VP are stomping this game.
It's you can't call it anything else but stomping, really. It's been so damn dominant from the get-go. Yes, they gave away first blood, but otherwise their laning has been more or less just perfect. Lich has fallen a little bit behind in net worth now. Tidehunter and Deathroot have surpassed him, but he's the only one. The support. I mean, if you're in such a situation, is there even a comeback? I mean, they have the blink at least on Big Nam, so they had the blink Ravage, but even the blink Ravage probably isn't gonna end up doing that much. I mean, Illidan, he has a Lincoln Sphere now already as well. I cannot believe we are only 23 minutes in.
Yeah, most people would be happy with just a Lincoln Sphere at this point. Lincoln Sphere and boots. Like in a pub game, everyone would be like, alright, we're right on track. But now Illidan has 12 kills, so of course he has a completed Manta style on top of that. And another 1100, now 1200, 1300 gold in his bank account. Everyone else on the VP Polar side extremely stacked as well. Moscow 5, they always have the possibility for the dream. Like, you never want to count out a team that has a Tidehunter and especially a Necrophos. I mean, even though Necrophos doesn't actually have anything right now, a Scythe is going to be a lot of potential damage for that hero, especially when you set it up with a Ravage. They can, in theory, take a nice team fight if they find someone, but they're going to have their smoke blown by Lil. That was a very narrow blowing of the smoke, and now Bignum actually going to blink forward, wants a Ravage usage, but even if he uses it, it's only going to be on 2 supports, so what's the point there? Screen is going to pop God Strength and try to take this tower, but Fortification is going to deny all of that. In the meantime, bottom lane is being pushed, and just these 2 supports are forcing back everyone from Moscow 5. Bottom lane, Illidan is just there. Someone has to deal with this. And by someone, I mean at least 2 heroes. They're going to fight mid lane without the Morphling, but it's not going to matter because Vengeful Spirit's already dead. The Necrophos already dead as well. Earthsplitter going to come through, snap back Necroman, dropping him down to below half. Ravage is going to connect onto 4 heroes. The turnaround possibility is there. They lose the Elder Titan, but the mech up just in time to save everyone else. Still Screen, Bignum, and Necroman are alive, although the Death Prophet not for long. GG is called from Screen. This was a disgusting game from VP. This was a 4v5 fight they took, and it wasn't even hard for them. Illidan took the Raxes in the meantime. Man, that was just brutal.
Brutal, really, man. I don't know how VP did it, but they did it. We said, both of us, Moscow 5 drafts probably better, but we expected them to not get crushed in the early game. If they had gotten to the mid game, they probably would have been pretty damn strong themselves, but just didn't happen.
Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this set. Moscow 5 versus VP ends in VP taking it 2-0. There is going to be another game that's going to be coming up very shortly. Taking a quick look at who that's actually going to be. I think it is going to be VP again, this time up against the Hellraisers or Compass Gaming. Should be a good one, guys. So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the cast, as always, twitter.com, facebook.com/HeflaTV. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Coucher, hopefully for the next game as well. And that's it for right now. Let's see if VP can keep this train rolling.